Sideways hip movement is really important to the length of your IT band because it starts here and finishes down here. So the further we can go that way, the more length your IT band will get, and then the more ability it's got to ping you back the other way, giving you free elastic recoil, free movement and free momentum. Okay, so if we push the hips sideways like this and try and balance, it's really easy. You can pretty much do whatever you like and still balance. You can mess around all over the place and still balance because my hip is very, very stable with a centre of gravity over the base of support, which is my foot. If I don't allow that sideways movement to happen, so my foot is not the centre of where the centre of gravity is, then the centre of gravity, if I hold my hands here, you can see the centre of me. Then if I try and lift my foot from here, I have to try and push my body that way, and then the inside of my leg here has to hold on really tight to try and keep that base of support, which it hasn't got. So if I shift my hips sideways, you can see my hands are now pointing at my foot, and I can do that and stay there really comfortably as long as I like. And I can move around and do all those silly things I was doing before. But if I didn't have my centre of gravity over my base of support, which is my foot, then it would be a lot harder, and my body would have to work much harder to try and keep me balanced. So the tightness from your IT band is not necessarily coming from the IT band itself, although that won't lengthen, because if your hip doesn't move sideways, it's often the length of your adductors that are the problem. Okay, so they won't, they're too tight and they won't move regardless of how you want them to move. They won't go long or they won't go short because they're too stuck. Okay, so all we're going to do to fix that is we're going to go back to that kneeling position that we had before, but this time I'm going to do it facing you. Because all we're going to do is what my mum calls aeroplane arms. So my hip is the driver here, so you can see my hip moving side to side, and if I put my hands here, you can see that. Okay, and then all we're going to do is add a little side lean to that. So as you go side to side, your chest is compensating to keep that centre of gravity over the middle of you. So if I put my hands here, you can see that my hands are moving at the same point. I'm not doing that, so my hip isn't moving, but my hand is. We're moving the whole thing, so the spine isn't particularly moving, but the hips are.